Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Microsoft Reactor live stream series. Let's get technical. So, my name is Suzanne, and I'm a program manager at Microsoft. The Let's Get Technical is a series of 3 short 55-minute virtual events delivering technical demos and know-hows on the latest technology in Asia. So we started this series in Indonesia earlier this year, then to Philippines and recently in Thailand, and we're super excited that the Let's Get Technical series has now made its way to Singapore. So today I'll be joined by Marvin Heng, a technical advisor from M here. Let me welcome my Marvin up. Hi, Marvin. Okay, wait, we can't hear you. Hang on. Marvin, you have
Hello,
to unmute
Susan.
yourself. Yeah, hi. Okay, sure. Thanks for being here today, Marvin. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me today, and it's really my pleasure to be here. Just to share a little bit about myself, I'm humbly equipped with little knowledge and experience in AI and the developments of software and cloud applications. So I've been working in the established MSc and SME in IT industry. So I'm also a Microsoft MVP.
Right, great to have you here. And I do know a fun fact about Marvin. So Marvin is not a fan of cucumbers, but will eat all of them should they be served together with his favorite local chicken rice. So I'm not sure of the logic here, Marvin, but maybe it doesn't require any. So hey, Marvin. So thank you for being here once again. So we know that you're very passionate about the tech community and will be sharing your knowledge on ChatGPT and OpenAI. So both being so viral and have taken the world by storm. So we want to hear from you how these innovative technologies can be used to improve our lives, be it productivity or whatsoever in businesses. But before we kick off the session, I would like to draw everyone's attention to the Reactor Code of Conduct. So can we have the next slide, Marvin? Yep, great. So in short, we want to ensure that this is an enjoyable event for all. So please ensure that your comments are respectful, constructive, and welcoming to all attendees. So at any time you have questions, you can drop them at the chat, and we'll try to answer as many as possible during Q&A. So right now, I shan't come in between you and Marvin's sharing. So over to you, Marvin. Take it away.
Thank you, Susan. It's my pleasure to share about ChatGPT and the technology involved, the OpenAI. So this would be our learning objective for today. We will be working through all this for the next 45 minutes together. First, we'll be exploring the OpenAI and Azure OpenAI together, discussing about the generative AI models and capabilities. And we will be discussing about the possible use cases of OpenAI also. So over here, we will discover some of the features of OpenAI, learn about Azure OpenAI responsible AI practices and policies. So this is one of the utmost important things by Microsoft. So over the past few months, ChatGPT has been really viral and catching the attention of the world of what it's capable to do. So in fact, what's making the ChatGPT so popular and is the company behind it, which is OpenAI. So let's discover the capabilities of OpenAI models together. So these are the three main categories of capabilities found in OpenAI. So first will be generating natural language. Second will be generating programming code. And third will be generating images. So these are the three main categories. So what's so special about generating natural language? So I think it's not something that you are not aware of. So it's the capability to summarize text, generating texts, even stories line. So one of the example here is summarizing complex text for different reading levels. And I've tested it. It can actually speaking some of the things in Cantonese, in Hokkien. So it's really, really impressive. And secondly, it will be generating programming code. So the model, the OpenAI models is capable to translate code from one programming language to another. And it's also able to tell us what is the code about and also able to identify and troubleshooting some of the bugs in the code. So this is definitely great news for programmers. And the last one will be generating images. So it's capable to generate images for publications from the text description. That means you can input some of the description, and the OpenAI models will be able to generate the image for you. So is it really impressive? So okay, the next one we'll be discussing all these will be generative AI. So why is the generative AI? So we have to look back for the past few years or past decades. We have been discussing about AI. We have been talking about machine learning, deep learning, and today this OpenAI is one of the generative AI model. So looking at these four different levels of artificial intelligence, we will see that AI, the original AI, is something that imitates the human behavior. So it's trying to be like human. While machine learning is something that takes the data and fix it into an algorithm to make predictions. And the third one will be deep learning, using the layers of algorithm to return results for more complex use cases. And today we are here with generative AI, which is able to produce the new content based on the input. So this is something that is we have been playing around for the past few months. We go to the ChatGPT website, then we start to play around with the ChatGPT. So it's really impressive, right? And it's something that is many people don't know is Microsoft also have this service for OpenAI. So come to here, introduction of Azure OpenAI. So what is exactly the Azure OpenAI? Okay, so this is one of the objective or the outcome with the Microsoft and OpenAI partnership. So that means OpenAI will be able to utilize the Azure infrastructure, including the security, compliance, and the regional availability, and also to help Azure user or Microsoft user to build enterprise-grade application. And secondly, the partnership also aims to deploy OpenAI model capabilities across the Microsoft products. And the last, one of the last is to use the power of the Azure infrastructure to power all the OpenAI's workloads. So what are the outcomes of this partnership also? The rest of the outcomes. So we have now with the this partnership, Azure OpenAI service also offers pre-trained generative AI models. Second, ability to customize and fine-tune the AI models with own data, right? And the third one will be the built-in tools to detect and mitigate harmful use cases so users can implement AI responsibility. And the last one will be enterprise grade security with the role based access control and private networks that many Azure developers are familiar with, right? So one more thing, Microsoft already have stable AI models for commercials and productions, which is something that we aware, which call AI connective services. So now this Azure OpenAI service allows us to use OpenAI model in Microsoft Cloud uh, environment, which is Azure. So there are three categories of these OpenAI models. One is a GPT 3x, 3x version or 4x version. It's something that is relatively familiar to us. And Codex, and last one will be Del-E. So these will be the three models, OpenAI models, serving three different purposes. So first, GPT. So it's something about generating texts or natural language. So once you input a prompt, it will come out with the response in text. And second will be codex. So this is you input inserting a line of code or a few lines of code, and you will get the response. Or even so, you can actually reverse it. It means you insert some description and it will generate the code for you. And lastly, it will be generating images, which is we input a text description and you will come up with the pictures, right? So the entire Azure AI environment is ready to serve the open AI models. So looking at the bigger pictures, Microsoft portfolio for AI is now very comprehensive, I would say, right? So from the application to Power Platform to now applied AI services, which is the cognitive services. Next will be cognitive service, which includes the OpenAI, and then lastly will be all the governance platform and data platform and etc. Right? So this is really interesting. And what is the benefit of using Azure OpenAI versus others AI models? So OpenAI service actually offers and provides REST API access to the OpenAI's powerful generative models, including GPT, which we discussed just now, GPT codecs and embeddings model series, right? And also OpenAI also offers this increased efficiency and accuracy, provides engaging customer experience, and also high scalability and great integration with Azure services. And the last will be access to the powerful AI tools such as OpenAI Studio. Okay, so this will be also available on Azure OpenAI. First will be various OpenAI models and fine-tuning available features, right? And secondly, secured through the Azure Managed Identity, Virtual Private Network, and Private Link. And the last one will be something that we have discussed, the high quality REST API and SDK for developers to consume, right? So other than that, Azure OpenAI service also give customers advanced language AI with the enterprise benefits of Azure. So with Azure OpenAI, customers get increased security capabilities Microsoft Azure while running the same models as the OpenAI from that we see. So we have the role-based access control, private network, regional availabilities. Something that is really important is the responsible AI content filtering and double encryptions, advanced identity management, and also very important one for industry players is compliance with the multiple standards. So now, before we jump to the next section, let's have a quick recap or the quick quiz. So what are the three main categories of capabilities of OpenAI? So just pause for 5 seconds. So if you can type the answer in the chat, right? Okay. So if you have followed me for the past 5 or 10 minutes, so you should be able to answer that. The answer will be generate natural language, generate code, generate images, right? So next section, so we will be talking about natural language capabilities, which is the first AI models, OpenAI models. So right, understanding GPT models for natural language generation, which is also part of the feature of generative pre-trained transformer models. It's excellent at both understanding and creating natural language. So I believe you have tested it on ChatGPT, so you should be able to understand what I'm going to say now. So first, like the task summarizing text, so it's able to you can just type in summarize this text in short blurb, right? So you also can type like paraphrase this sentence, so you will be able to generate a new text or summarizing the text for you. And secondly, you can classify the text. So you can ask what genre of the books is this, right? And the third will be generating names of phrases. So you can ask like what write the tagline for my file company. And the fourth will be translation. It's so capable that you can translate how are you in Mandarin, in Cantonese, and so on, right? And also it will be able to answer your question, like what does the OpenAI do, right? And the last one is very useful, I think, is try to suggest some of the contents for you. So you can say suggest 5 contents about OpenAI, right? Right. So let's go into it slightly deeper. So we have GPT-3 and GPT-4. ChatGPT-3 using GPT-3 models, 3.5 models, and ChatGPT-4 is using GPT-4 and its variants. So both AI models are actually using GPT natural language model to interact with humans in conversational way. So GPT-4 is going beyond GPT-3 on the text-to-text capability um, in order to take on the images and in addition to the text, right? And GPT-4 is much larger model or more comprehensive model compared to GPT-3, and it has the potential to generate more fluent and coherent, diverse response and able to actually answer more complex and natural language tasks. And GPT is certainly is smarter and able to handle longer prompts and conversations. However, GPT-4 also has its shortcomings, which is slower since it is bigger model, so it will be slightly slower compared to GPT-3, right? So these are the capable things of OpenAI again. So we have chat and conversational interactions, we have code generations, we have artificial images. It's also able to assist us on writing on specific topics. So next, so how to use Azure OpenAI. So using the OpenAI on Azure environments. This will be something for developers to understand and also will be able to use it to for your developments, right? So Microsoft actually provide these a very comprehensive tools, like what we say, or AI tools. So Azure OpenAI Studio, right? So this is the screen when you actually create a service, the OpenAI service on Azure environments. So this will be the screen that you will be able to see. It's called there are chat playground, there's a completion playground, and you can even bring your own data, right? So then after that there will be Dell E playground, which is certainly something new. Um, and so on and so forth, right? So we'll be discussing and going walk through together on this later on. Right. So before we go to the demo, I would like to give you some of the basics or fundamentals features of OpenAI or Azure OpenAI. So the descriptions that you put in, the user input is called text prompt, and the answer given is completion, right? So for example, 4 score and 7 years ago, hour. So if you insert this input, OpenAI model will help you to finish up the content, right? So of course, this is some of the openings sentence of Abraham Lincoln, right? And we also have some of the type is called instruction. So you can write an instruction, write an introduction for a weekly newsletter. So you can actually come out with a sentence of the with the completion text, right? And more complex instruction you can also give. Write an introduction for weekly newsletter to my company name Contoso. You try to give as much as detail, and GPT models should be able to actually answer or give you the newsletter content, right? Okay, and primary content. Can you please tell me how to get to the museum? Translate into French. So you also able to help you to translate in this case. And also additional feature of Azure OpenAI is the content filtering. So once you input a prompt in the JSON models of the response from the API, it will be able to tell you the whether it's filtered out the text or what is the reason of the filter or finishing all this, right? So it will be specifying content filtering over here. Okay, and this is the best practices when you actually use OpenAI, the prompt or the conversation. So try to be specific, try to be descriptive, and double down, order the methods, and give the model an out so that it actually can be very accurate in the future use cases. Right? Okay, let's go through the Azure OpenAI Studio now. So let's walk through. So first, how are you going to create an Azure OpenAI on the Azure environment? Okay, so of course you need an Azure account, and I believe as of today, OpenAI service on Azure is still required some of the uh, registration and approval from Microsoft, right? Since it's something new, right? So over here you can see that I have the Azure OpenAI on the top bar. If you cannot see on your Azure web portal, you can, of course, you can type in on the search bar on the top, right? Azure OpenAI. So you can click in, and you can see that Azure OpenAI also part of the cognitive service, which means you can actually go into cognitive service, and you can also create the instance from here, right? So over here, as you can see, we can actually create it will be able to create the OpenAI instance like other services in Azure. So you can select the subscription, resource group, region. So different region offer different kind of features of OpenAI. In East US in particularly, so it can actually allows you to use the DALL-E model. Then this would be the name, right? So then we have the pricing, right? So of course you can fill it up and then you just follow the steps. Okay, so I have two instances of OpenAI already created. So Azure Open Demos, which is created in the South US, South Central US. So let me open this. So this is the instance of the Azure Open Demo instance that I've created earlier, right? So as you can see, this is Azure OpenAI Studios. So you have the chat, you have completions, you have DALL-E preview, you have developments and models and data files and quotas and so on, right? So today I'm going to show you is bring your own data. So that means you can upload the new data set, you can delete it, you can download, and you can do whatever you want here, right? Then after that, so I have already have the sample uploaded here, and also I will be able to create the custom model, right? So I can select the models I have, right? So you can actually upload your own file, or you can actually select from the Azure blobs or other web locations, right? So it will be in JSON-L format. So right, so I'm not going to upload for today. So I have the sample already uploaded. So you can actually just go through all these, right, and click next. So you can click start training job. So behind it, it will actually do the training at the background. So at the meantime, you can also play around with the chat GPT, right? So hello, okay, can you help me to translate how are you in, for example, in Singlish? in Singapore English. Right? So it should be able to tell you more localized kind of accent or language, right? So how are you? Very often we are saying how are you? There are some additional slang behind it. So this is something that is GPT models or the app OpenAI can do. You can also say, can you suggest a new OpenAI content structure for me? So this will be instruction of the prompt. So you can see it actually generating some of the structures of the presentations, right? And of course, can you translate how are you in Mandarin? So this will be translation. So you see, it's very capable to do all different type of prompt, right? Okay, so this will be the Azure OpenAI Studio. Of course, you can actually connect these OpenAI services to other connected services, right? But it's not something that we are going to discuss here today. Okay, so it comes to the quiz 2. You would like to summarize a passage. Which generative AI model would you use to achieve that? So another 5 seconds. So insert your answer in the YouTube chat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you answer correctly, it will be GPT-3. So I see someone is actually answering correctly. Congratulations. Thanks for following me. Right. So the next section will be about the code generation capabilities. So earlier on, we discussed about GPT-3, the text generation or the natural language generation capability. So the second section will be discussing about the code generation capabilities. So codex model is based on GPT-3, so it's similar to the natural language generation or the capabilities. So it's optimized to understand and write code. So this is really exciting for developers, I believe. Okay, so as you can see on the screenshot, write a for loop counting 1 to 10 in C#. Right, so this is the answer from the GPT or the OpenAI. Right, so we can see it together later on. Then example of code generations. Part of the training data for GPT-3 includes the programming language. So it's not surprised that GPT models are able to answer the programming questions if asked, right? So these are the example we can play around later on. Okay, so let me demo on this, right? So can you, so hopefully you can see my screen. Let me zoom in a little bit if you are not able to see. Right? Can you generate the code C# with the condition I need a for loop from 1 to 10. Right, so this will be live. I hope it's actually able to generate correctly. Right, so this will be in C#. Yep, so this is correct answer. So let me also ask it to, can you explain a little bit more about the code that you have suggested? Yes, so you see, it actually tell us the able to actually explain the entire code behind the programming code, right? Is able to explain it very, very well. So I'm not sure everyone heard of GitHub Copilot before. So this is really something that is powered by OpenAI. It's really interesting. I'm excited to see how it comes to life when you do the software developments or any developments on PC, right? So it's really interesting. So here comes the quiz number 3. I hope you are still around with me. So the quiz number 3, OpenAI model is capable to understand programming code, but not able to generate code. Is this statement correct? So again, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Insert your answer in the YouTube chat so I can see it. So is this statement correct? So let's review the answer. So the answer is no. So OpenAI model is very capable to understand programming language code, but not able to generate code. Is it correct? No, the answer is not. It's able to generate the code as well, as we can see in the the walkthrough, the demonstration just now. So in fact, it's actually able to generate code and is also able to explain the code or the rationale behind the code, right? So it's really, really impressive, right? Okay, so here comes the third category or the third capabilities of OpenAI OpenAI capabilities, which is the image generation capabilities, right? So we have the DAL-E2 models or DAL-E in specific or in general. So in addition to the natural language capabilities or the code generation capabilities, these generative AI models or the OpenAI models is able to edit and create images. It sounds great, right? So images can be generated by providing a text prompt. So users just have to type a few sentences or just a sentence, then the image will be generated with this model, right? So this DALL-E model able to offer this, like for example, editing an image. So when you upload the image, so you can tell it to remove or to modify the image or the subject in the image to another object, right? So it's really interesting, and it also able to generate different variations of the images. So that means you type in one sentence and you can ask for more variations, sorry, variations. So it's really interesting. Okay, so let's go through to the DALL-E model. So currently I'm on the Azure Open demo, which is under the South Central. So as I play around, it couldn't actually, it's not available in the East US. It's only available in the East US, as you can see here. So I have another instance created in East US region, right? So this is one of the example that I've played around earlier. So let's try again. So and an elephant is drinking at the lake. So we can specify digital art. Okay, so let's try whether it's able to generate the new image for me. So so you see it's actually generating new one. So I can, in fact, I can copy the prompt. I can actually generate new image. I can download it, and I also can see the code behind it, and I can delete the image as well. So just now we talk about image variation. So you can see we can just quickly just click a single button. It will regenerate based on the same prompt. Okay. So you see it's a beautiful picture, right? Elephant is drinking at the lake. Right? So I can actually click one more time. It will generate another image. Okay. So it's really interesting. Right? Hope you are excited to see this feature. Right, here comes to the quiz number 4. You like to generate image. Which generative AI model would you use to achieve that? Maybe I give a longer period now, 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer will be Del-E model. I hope you get it correct. I see Brian Law is getting all the answers correctly. Congratulations. Yeah. So we come so far already about the existing feature of OpenAI, and we are now going slightly uh, interesting. So which is the future of with OpenAI. So we are going to talk just a little bit about OpenAI and the use case. So how is it going to empower us to improve the productivity and also creativity in our life? So this is really you might want to ask like what are the industries and what are the jobs of or the professionals will be using this OpenAI? How it actually affect us and help us, right? So I'm looking at it at very positive way. So it will be able to improve the productivity and the creativity with OpenAI. OpenAI will help to improve uh, like any industry. Most likely, I can list a few here. So customer service. So you can use the conversational AI to interact with your customers, your users, right? So you can capture the orders, and you can use it at retail also um, to suggest a few products that is interesting or something that customers would like to buy, right? Then also, of course, will be generator and creative creator. I think this is really interesting. It will be able to generate images for them. Or even I heard from Taiwan, I think that some of the content creator or YouTuber they actually use these OpenAI models or ChatGPT to suggest a few contents for them to create. So they are able to do scripting for a show. So it's powerful. And also I think next will be software developments. So we can see from the demo just now, the programmers or some of the new programmers can actually use GPT models or the Codex model to train or to generate code, right? And also to ask the GPT to explain the code itself. So it's really interesting, right? So other than that, business user will also be able to actually use OpenAI to generate some of the presentation. This will be something that is really interesting, and it will be the feature to look forward. So from Microsoft is actually introducing this Microsoft Copilot 365 Copilot. So it will be available, I think, um, for certain users now. It went through some of the testing. So it's really interesting and very excited to see this happening around the space, right? So it's really interesting. So other than this is really something that we have to take note. So Azure OpenAI access and responsible AI policies is in fact is really affecting us, and also it also tell us as a guideline how are we going to use the OpenAI, right? So it's very important to consider and the ethical implication of while you are working with AI system. So there are 6 categories listed by Microsoft. First will be accountability. So people should be accountable for AI. That means human beings should be accountable, responsible for the AI system, right? And secondly will be transparency. AI system should be understandable. That means we can understand uh, how it works, at least how it works, and how are we going to use it also, right? And third will be the fairness. AI system, the responses given by AI should be able to treat everyone fairly. It's not biased. It's not discriminating, right? So this is important. And fourth will be reliability and safety. AI systems should be performed reliably and safely. So this is really important also. We don't want the system to go down very often or hacked by someone. So it is very common nowadays. But I believe that with Azure environment, it should be very secure, right? And fifth will be the privacy and security. AI systems should be secure and respect data privacy, right? And six, AI system should be able to power everyone and engage people. Okay, so here comes to the fifth quiz, right? What is the one actions Microsoft takes to support ethical AI practices in Azure OpenAI? So first, provide explanations so users can understand how they are built and used. B, build systems that will make decisions, including those that are harmful. And fourth, improve the model without respecting data privacy and data security. So what is your answer? Give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I believe this question a little bit confusing and a little bit harder. So the answer is A. So provide sufficient transparency and explanation so users can understand how they are built and used. Right. So I hope you get the answer correctly. Yeah, thank you, Brian Law. I think you get all the answers correctly. It's really impressive. Right. Thank you for following me throughout the presentation or the sharing session. So here comes to my summary. So we have learned about the OpenAI and Azure OpenAI, discussing the generative AI models and capabilities. I believe you know now by now. And we have the third one, discuss the possible use case of OpenAI. And the last one will be the Azure OpenAI responsible AI practices and policies. So thank you so much. So here comes to my conclusion of the sharing session, and let's come to Q&A. So any questions, you can just type in the chat of YouTube. I hope you are clear of what we have been going through for the past 45 minutes. So if no questions, then that concludes our session today. Thank you so much. And now over to you, Susan.
Hello. Thanks, Marvin. I think we'll just wait a couple of seconds for questions to come in through. I think we have one that just popped through. So let me just read that out. So with more AI platforms available and they're getting over time, will humans be replaced?
Okay, so here comes to the tricky question. So as we have the AI responsible and the policies over here to safeguard uh, how how we use the AI system. So it's the AI model is not here to replace human per se. So it's depending on how we are going to use the AI model itself. So, but you ask me, I would say it's not going to replace the human. It should be able to assist human to do more rather than replacing humans, right?
Yep. So we'll keep the chat open so that, like any questions that popped in, we'll just try to answer them. But meanwhile, I think it's true. Like that's one burning question, right? Whether
Yeah.
OpenAI and ChatGPT will always be threat to jobs. But I think what you have showed us earlier are examples of how it will actually make our jobs easier so that we can actually focus on other tasks that are more important and more meaningful. So thank you once again for the great introduction on OpenAI and ChatGPT and how we can use them, to our benefit. So maybe we can click to the next slide. So yeah, so Marvin has also he's extremely kind to select some learning courses that you can level up beyond today's session. So be sure to click on them to complete. We also encourage you to join us for our next two Let's Get Technical Singapore sessions. They are happening same time next Thursday and following Thursday. So Copilot is a hot topic, and definitely interesting as Marvin has shared earlier. So be sure to tune in next week. So if you actually see the ticker down below, we've also included a survey to today's session. So if you have time, please help us fill that out. If you'd like to reference back to today's session, you can always do so on our Reactor YouTube channel straight after today's live stream. So we'll be happy to know what kind of topics that you're looking to hear from us. So let us know. So with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much. We kept it under the 55 minutes so that everybody can get back to your jobs. I know it's a holiday tomorrow for us in Singapore, so I think everybody is really excited to take the day easy. So yeah, thank you so much, Marvin. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone for joining us. Happy Hari Raya Haji and happy holiday to all. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye bye.